When Elasticsearch ditched its open source license for something more restrictive, the devs who built their entire stack on it naturally got a bit worried. OpenSearch stepped up as the free and truly open source alternative. But what is it, and does it actually deliver on its promise? Both OpenSearch and Elasticsearch are two search and analytics engines that at one point had the exact same source code. Elasticsearch was fully open source when it was released, so many companies and cloud providers used it and offered it as a managed service. But this, of course, was competition for Elastic's own managed service called Elastic Cloud. So they changed their license from Apache to a more restrictive SSPL and Elastic license, which made it difficult for companies to offer it as a managed service. So AWS forked the latest open source version of Elasticsearch and called it OpenSearch. It's worth mentioning that late last year, Elastic added an AGPL license, making them kind of open source again, but they've already split the communities, so it's a bit late for that move. So while Elasticsearch is maintained by the Elastic company, OpenSearch is maintained by the community and backed by AWS. And that's why they're able to offer it as a managed service. But it's open source, which means you can host it anywhere. So let's try it on a DigitalOcean droplet, because why not? Here is a basic compose file with OpenSearch and OpenSearch Dashboards. Now, these compose files can actually get really complicated if you have multiple nodes, but I've tried to keep things simple. So with both containers running, I can add data in a JSON file, and once the data has been added, I can call this endpoint with a search query param, which will return the relevant data, but I can also query it using the domain-specific language. I can query for different fields, add filters, and even combine my queries. You can do much more with OpenSearch, from ingestion pipelines to keyword search, and even do some machine learning. But now let's talk a bit about OpenSearch Dashboards. OpenSearch Dashboards allow you to query your data, add index patterns to go through the data that's stored inside Elastic, and also use it to create visuals, which can be used to create dashboards and do a bunch of other things like observability, alerting, reporting, and much more. I actually found all the dashboard features a bit confusing and overwhelming. And if I'm being honest, for the telemetry side of things, I'd much rather use something more intuitive and easy to use, like BetterStack, which also lets you view logs, create dashboards, manage alerts, and much more. But that's just my opinion. And if you're familiar with Elastic's products, then OpenSearch Dashboards is similar to Kibana. So after that really quick tour of OpenSearch, which one would I choose? Even though Elasticsearch claims to be more performant and has more features, especially when it comes to machine learning, the fact that I'm already familiar with AWS and the open source nature of OpenSearch really appeals to me, I'll probably choose that. But I also want to check out some other options like Algolia and TypeSense that have been rising in popularity recently. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments.